بإذن الله. But I would like to inform you that MNLF now is holding a permanent seat in the 57-member Islamic Conference Organization. The special envoy, His Excellency Ambassador Al-Mesri, came to see me at my residence in Quezon City recently to inform me. He said, and I hope this will gladden your heart, he said, on behalf of the 57 member states of the Islamic Conference Organization, as well as His Excellency Secretary General Ekmaluddin Ehsanoglu, he said that MNLF under Nur Miswari already holds permanent status in the organization of the Islamic Conference. That is Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! He added by saying that whether there will be peace talks or not, whether there will be peace agreement or not, still MNLF under Professor Nur Miswari will continue to be a permanent part of the Islamic organization, which is a representative of the Islamic Ummah. The Islamic Ummah, dear brothers and sisters, is composed of 1.5 billion population of the world, and it's in control of the biggest quantity of oil, the most precious commodity in the world market today. And now, since I cannot prolong my speech here, nor yet my stay, because the mayor of Mati has conveyed to us that he can wait only until 2 o'clock this afternoon. So we'll have to go back as quickly as possible. But before I do that, I would like to inform you that right now we have reason to be very, very happy and to be optimistic about the future. Because even if we don't get autonomy, Allah forbid, yes, we have another very important option, which is more important than autonomy, which is federal system of government. Slowly, I'm getting to be at the center stage of this struggle for federalism in the country. There was a time when Nene Pimentel used to have the limelight, being the author of a resolution in the Senate. 11 senators worked together for the passage of a historic resolution calling for the transformation of the present system into a federal one. I'm sorry I have to speak in English so we can, quickly finish our work here. In the first place, I cannot speak the language of our brothers and sisters here. So anyway, towards the end, I will try to speak also in Tagalog. So, I met the Honorable Speaker, Boy Nograles, recently before I came here. He invited me to a lunch, and after the lunch, he asked me, he treated me to a cup of coffee. He said, I just want to ask one question. He said, what is your comment about the passage of that bill in the Senate, calling for the redivision of the country into 11 states? I said, I'm against that. The people of Mindanao are against that. We are not against federalism per se, but we are against the fragmentation of this country into so many states, which Senator Arroyo calls 11 fiefdoms, intended to be placed in the hands of some dynasties, political dynasties in the country. I said, I'm against, we are against. And he said, what do you want then? I said, I want only 3 states, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Nograles appeared to be, of the same, of the same thinking. But what about Metro Manila, he says. I said there's no difficulty in creating another state to make it 4 altogether. Because after all, Metro Manila is a melting pot. The mayor of Makati, the owner of the biggest quantity of money in the whole country, or the order, happened to be an Ibanak, a tribal politician from Cagayan Valley. And the mayor of Pasay, I was told, Mayor Piwi, is from Cebu, or the Visayas. And so with a few other mayors. And I also cited to Nograles, I said, Quiapo now is under the control of our Marano brothers. So with Taguig, also controlled by the Muslims from Mindanao. And Tandansora, and Ermita, which is the center of money changers in Manila, and so on and so forth. So there is no difficulty in making Metro Manila another state. So we'll have 4 altogether. As part of this, he asked me to clarify what are the systems or institutions to be adopted. The first thing I said, there must be constitutions. A federal constitution and a state constitution. Mindanao should have its own constitution to govern its own internal affairs. Visayas likewise, and so with Luzon, and if we could agree on Metro Manila, then likewise Metro Manila should have its own constitution. We call it state constitution. Then he said about the Senate, Visayas, 24 senators from Mindanao. Because I told them that even Australia, with a population of only 28 million, it has 68 senators. So with other smaller countries in Europe, they have much larger number of senators than what we have here in the Philippines. So how do you go about that? I said we will divide Mindanao as a state into 12 senators like that. And then what about the presidency? Earlier they said they will revolve the presidency from one state to another. That means if you have 11 states, you'll have to wait for half a century before the 11th one can take its turn to lead the country as president. So I said if we make it only 3 or 4, then you give them an average of 5 years each. Therefore, after 10 years, Mindanao can have its own president. Or if it's 4, after 15 years. Assuming that we start out with Luzon and then Metro Manila, and Visayas. But it can also be reversed. Probably Mindanao will have the first president of the Federal Republic, for all we know. Then what about the money matters, they say? Well, I said all the gold, all the chromites, all the nickels, all the fish, everything on top of our soil and beneath, and those in the sea and in the bottom of the sea and below, including the oil, all of this must be declared as property of the people of Mindanao, if it happens to be in our homeland Mindanao. We have complete control of these resources, and so with Visayas they will have complete control of the resources, likewise of Luzon and Metro Manila, for that matter. Then he said, how can we ensure the survival of the federal government? I said we give them 15% of our net income. If they want to increase that to 20, there's no problem. We can give them. For as long as we will control our finance. We collect the taxes and then we give them a portion of that tax. to maintain our officials in the federal national government. And what else he says? Well, as Muslims, we want to have one Sharia Supreme Court. He said that's wonderful. Nograles was very, very supportive of that. And what else? The Christians should have their own Supreme Court, civil Supreme Court, to, so we'll have equality among ourselves. So more or less, those were the essential points. He said we will just meet again, but I think this will be a win-win case, Nograles told me. The next day, I had a call from Nene Pimentel. He said, he started by saying, my friend, you have forgotten me? I said, no, I don't forget my friends. Can we meet? He said, yeah. I said, well, why not? So we met just before we came, and we agreed that Nene Pimentel will be interested only in the idea, not in the 11. He said we can discuss. We can discuss the 11 states. I'm not interested in that. I'm only interested in the idea of a federal system of government. So we agreed that as soon as I return back, we'll have another meeting to discuss some nitty-gritty of this problem. And then I do hope that we can meet, and then we will agree on these 4 states. So since there is no more time, I cannot stay any longer here because some people are waiting somewhere. So I will now conclude my speech by thanking you all, thanking the Almighty Allah for this opportunity to be with you.